I'm Kevin McGinty, President and Chief Executive Officer of SC2. I'd like to welcome you to our video presentation of our annual stockholders meeting. I'd like to apologize. This isn't typically the way that I like to present these meetings, as most of you are aware. I've done this for 30-some years, and every single one has been at each facility in person. So obviously the extenuating circumstances don't make that possible this year, but certainly I'm going to present everything that I otherwise would, and hopefully you'll have a better understanding of where SC2 is here in 2020. This presentation is going to consist of a couple of different parts. I'm going to give you a financial update and talk a little bit about 2019 and 2020, get into our stock price, talk about current events, and then I'll pass it on to Chris Hewlett, who is going to discuss your specific financial statement and how to read the document, and then we'll complete from there. Okay, so let's talk about 2019. 2019 was a very interesting year. It started off with a very strong start as expected, and then the second half of the year tailed off significantly. We ended up with a 7% overall sales decline from the previous year, but there are some extraordinary things that happened throughout the year. First of all, Mitsubishi, who has historically been our second largest customer, they finalized the closing in Bloomington Normal, and we ended up in July closing the balance of our Mitsubishi operations, so that certainly hurt us as well. So beyond that, I'd like to talk about pricing. We've had extreme pricing pressures from our largest customer over the last year to 2 years, and that has affected our business units as well. On the positive side, we went to another large customer of ours, and we were able to realign some pricing and found that to be very effective for the second half of the year. Also in 2019, we continued our plan to divest of some large industrial properties that we own for the reason of, number one, eliminating some risk from owning so many properties in the Peoria area, but number two, to generate some cash and reduce some debt overall in the company, which we felt would be a strategically strong position for the business going forward. With the success of selling Camp Street and Mapleton both in 2019, we were able to not only raise a significant amount of cash, as I said, but we also were able to pay off some debt, which put us into an extraordinarily strong financial position going into 2020. And I can't finish talking about 2019 without talking about safety. We had an outstanding safety performance in 2019 and 2020 as well. And you're to be commended to your commitment to safety and all that you do for SC2. Thank you. So let's talk about 2020. We were very optimistic coming into 2020. We had a great business plan. We had a great budget. We're in as strong a financial position as we've ever been as an organization, and felt as though 2020 was going to not only end strong, but we were going to get a lot of things accomplished. And then we get into March, and certainly nobody ever could have expected the turn of events that's happened here in the United States and the world. And although SC2 is in as strong a financial position, especially cash and debt-wide, to survive this in the long term, certainly it's having an effect on this business, as all of you know. We've spent an extraordinary amount of time, dollars and resources on our health and safety programs, and we expect for that to continue for not just the foreseeable future, but well beyond 2020 into future years. And we are committed to providing the best experience and safest experience for our employee owners as we possibly can. We got through March and things were solid, profitable. We were close to budget, and then April hit. And certainly since none of this was planned out, everything's been a reaction. So it's learn on the fly. I've been giving weekly postings as far as the condition of the company and COVID updates and so on, but frankly, we're just in uncharted territory, and I'm not sure how the year will balance out with anybody else, and anybody that tells you that they do is probably lying. So our plan for the balance of the year, we do expect about a 25% drop in sales for 2020 compared to 2019. And we understand that we're going to have to continue to walk a tightrope as far as the extraordinary measures we're going to take to not only continue to monitor the health and safety of our employees, but also the volumes and changes to our customers' business in this business climate. Okay, for the balance of 2020, as I said, we expect to have a 25% reduction in sales. We do expect to make a modest profit for the year. However, in talking to other businesses, we find ourselves in an enviable financial position. We certainly have the ability to last for a very long time in these difficult times. We don't expect this to end in 2020. We think it's going to continue well on into 2021. And we have prepared ourselves to make sure that, that our employee owners are protected during this difficult time. At the same time, we have looked at all of our business units and want to make sure that each business unit is returning something to the company. We're going to require profitability, and we're looking at means to make sure that everyone and everything within the business organization provides value to the organization. We feel strongly that with every storm, that there will be sunshine at the end of the day, and we are preparing ourselves to make sure that we are in as optimum a position as we can to take advantage of those customers that are going to need our assistance here in the years to come. Okay, so we've talked about 2019, 2020, and the difficult environment that we find ourselves in. So let's talk a little bit about our stock price. Okay, probably no surprise to you that our stock price went down this last year. It dropped from $535.85, about 18%, to $439.08. Although that is somewhat directly related to last year, also these stock prices are affected by the ability to forecast going forward. And when you find yourself in a position where there's so much uncertainty in our industry, in the United States and in the world, that I'm sure was factored in as well. So although it's disappointing to see our stock price drop, we feel very comfortable that going forward that we're going to have some opportunities in the future that is going to turn this thing around and get us pointed back in the right direction. As I said earlier, we are in a very strong cash position with low debt. So we are built to endure this mess for quite some period of time. And also, it's not that there's anything good about what's taking place at this point in time, but if something like this pandemic were to happen, this is the best time in our history to endure it. By now, you should have received a packet. Inside the packet is a stock statement, a stock explanation statement, and an officer ballot that we would like for you to fill out in return. And also, just in recognition of the hard work and the difficult year that we've had, we've also included a $50 gift card for your benefit. And so now, Chris Hewlett, our Vice President of Human Resources and Safety, is going to review the information in your packet, talk about your stock statement, and review that with you specifically.
Thanks, Kevin. As my part, I'm here to talk to you about the steps that lead up to our shareholder meeting. Some of you have been through this before, but some of you haven't. So as we talk about stock shareholder meeting and SC2, our process that we go through is pretty simple, and it's standard, same every year. We look, every January, our employees are brought into the company, and you have your welcome meeting that you spend some time with Kevin McGinney, our CEO. And he brought you into the company, welcoming you as an ESOP member. And then the February time frame comes along, and we have our annual audit of our business. And then it just rolls right into April. We have a company valuation that's gone through a third party, evaluating our company based on the year and our future, looking at what the company's stock could look like moving forward. Then we get right into May, and it's based on looking at each participant's value and getting that administration completed by another third-party provider. And then we get right into June, and this is where we're at right now. Today we're presenting it, it's June timeframe. We'll get the stock statements out to everyone, and everyone will receive a packet with information in it. Now we're getting into your packet. So each individual has their own packet, and inside that packet you will have your stock statement. You'll have the explanation of the stock statement. You will also have a ballot form to vote on the current board of directors. And then just as a little added bonus, everyone will receive a gift card inside your packet. Main things that we want to look at when we look at our stock statement is you want to confirm that your date of birth is correct, your vesting percentage, and then of course your hire date. You make sure that those are correct, and if you have any questions, we want to make sure you get back to us here at the corporate office so we can get that corrected and answer any questions. Those of you that have the possibility for diversification will have an additional sheet inside the packet. That explanation of the diversification is unique to yourself. It will tell you the amount that you have available to diversify, and then you will end up making a decision on how you would like to see that paid out. Once you've made that decision, you'll be able to contact Sue at our corporate office, and those numbers are on there along with the dates to get back with us. And then once that decision is made, we will make those checks out to and deliver by the 26th and 29th of June. One last thing that we want to make sure of when we talk about our stock statement is the vesting percentage. The slide that you're seeing right now is the diagram, an example of the timing of when you were vesting, what percent you should be at based on the time of service and the hire date and years. So please take a look at that. And if you have any questions, once again, please contact me at our corporate office, and I'd be happy to help you. Thank you.
And in closing, I'd like to again thank you for your efforts at SC2. You've done an extraordinary job over these years, helping the company get to the financial condition that it's now in. I wish you the best in health and safety for you and your family, and I will continue my weekly messages to the organization, but we'll get through this thing, we'll get through it together, and we'll certainly succeed in the years to come. Thank you very much.